All right. So I have a really good article here. This is Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. We've established how to battle the COVID-19. St. Louis Fed James Bullard pitches a universal daily testing for the COVID-19 to help restore the economy's health and confidence. So here he is. A daily test would give Americans confidence once again to interact. That could boost the economy, is his thinking. There's good news for those who think the U.S. economy will have a tough time recovering from the coronavirus pandemic, said Central Bank Federal President James Bullard on Sunday. Now, again, Central Bank, first of all, Federal Reserve, it's not a bank, it's not federal, and there are no reserves in it. There is a solution using available technology today to fix the economic part. Right? So what's the solution? Universal testing, he goes on to say. This would help the economy because people could interact with each other with a lot of confidence. And the healthcare sector would be able to bring care quickly to those who need it. These are great ideas. However, last month, he also did state that the U.S. unemployment rate might soar up to 30%. Now, if you don't know how many people live inside the U.S., it's roughly 330 to 350 million. If you did not also know, every 1% gain in unemployment is 30 to 40,000 people dying. Now, regardless of how it happens, the statistics are pretty well correlated. During a CBS interview on Sunday, Bullard repeated that the coronavirus-era job losses shouldn't be compared with past economic depressions or recessions. It is simply a result of a request from the federal government to, quote, stay home to invest in the health of the country. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about that. I am under 30. I do not feel the same way that he does, but he goes on to say how he would do it is by simply, let's see, he would simply use a badging system. In principle, we don't want people to go back to basketball games. We don't want people to go on planes while the disease is ravaging the economy. This sharp increases for unemployment, yada yada. Now, interesting. This motherfucker. He goes on to say how this would take place is he laid out a system where every American would be tested every day and would wear a badge with their negative result, similar to the way voting works. If you don't know, if you have participated in a confidence game, when you vote, you get a badge saying you voted today. Now that would give people the confidence to go out and spend. Now, if you're under 30, you might not even have the funds. You might not be able to make it month to month. Heck, if you're under 30, statistically, you own half of what Gen Xers owned during the 2008-2009 financial crisis. That's combining accounts, stocks, and bonds. On average, millennials have half of what Gen Xers had, who today are between the ages of 40 and 55. They now have 4 times more than millennials. Folks, that's called asset price inflation. So, backing up, let's move on. As I am a millennial, this does ring home here. The New York Times, within the week, talks about young adults burdened with debt are now facing an economic crisis. Imagine that. Young people who entered this financial downturn with fewer resources than previous generations are enduring pain. Interesting. I was just going to stay home and hodl. The last time a serious economic downturn hit in 2008, Evan was in high school. The crisis seemed like a news event that happened to other people. However, this time, the coronavirus has brought the economy to its knees, and it's becoming a personal affair. When non-essential businesses were closed last month in Kansas City, Missouri, where he lived, Evan, who's 26, lost his job at a carpeting store as he's a non-essential worker and lost all the shifts at his second job at a coffee shop. His girlfriend, Caitlin Gartner, 23, was laid off from another coffee shop. The money they have in their bank accounts is just over $1,000. That's absolutely true for anybody under 30. That makes sense. It's not enough to cover an $800 week's rent. Forget about the student loans of $300. The couple spent their time applying for unemployment, fruitlessly looking for new work, which probably they will not find, as if you have a restaurant, for example, 15 employees, let's say you have enough savings in your business to furlough them, but for the most part you fire them. Now, should things go back to normal, you don't hire all 15 back. You hire back maybe 12. 12. Maybe 8. I'm going to be sympathetic to it. You hire back maybe 8 and see how it goes. So, it'll be interesting to see how businesses actually handle this compared to what PhD economics people think would happen, as they don't have real world experience. I know people my age who are going through the exact same thing. The youngest American adults are facing for what is, for most of them, the first serious economic crisis in their working lives. By most measures, they are unprepared. Absolutely. That's what happens when you have a paper fiat currency. But we're not going into fundamentals of money just yet. Okay, overloaded with credit card, student debt, and underrepresented in the housing market. Also underrepresented in the stock market. Millennials. They enter this certain period with significant obligations and few to no resources. Their positions are doubly precarious when measured against older generations. Today, those generations who were the same age, 23 to 35, let's go like, come here, come sit right here.
What?
How's it going?
My mom said we're doing pretty we're doing pretty good on quietness. I was like, we're doing quiet enough, right? She's like, yeah.
Interesting.
No, she just came out, and then I don't know if she's on the phone. But yeah, I need to let Nisha out of something. Have you seen her? Did you see her go? Or no?